In my last video about RC MIDI circular note generator, I said like and subscribe and I'll consider porting it to other formats so people can use it in DAWs that are designed to make actual music. And some of you actually subscribe to keep me accountable. I appreciate your trust, but I wasn't really planning on doing it. I mean, not that I don't want to, it's more like I don't really know how. To be honest, my programming skills are limited to writing simple logic in scripting languages, and the difference between that and making a real audio plugin is like the difference between changing the guitar strings versus building the actual guitar. But I can't let my hard-earned reputation as an indie multidisciplinary developer go to waste, so I figured I better put in some real effort, at least enough to pretend I'm working on it. After about a minute of research and strategizing, I came up with the concept of a plan. To my understanding, creating an audio plugin involves 3 steps. 1. Get a template. 2. Copy and paste the existing code from places. And 3. Tweak it until it compiles. That must be how some solo developers manage to release a plugin every week. And with me being so brilliant, which is not the sponsor of this video, I should be able to create one in a month, maintaining a healthy balance between work and life, as long as I avoid scope creep. In case you don't know, scope creep is when you keep adding new features to a project until it becomes an endless spiral of extra work, preventing you from actually finishing the project itself. It's one of the most common reasons for a project to be stashed or slashed. But after making music for 20 years, I think I'm experienced enough to avoid this trap. So what I'm gonna do for my first plugin is, instead of making the MIDI generator, which could go wrong at multiple levels since it has more than 3,000 lines of code even in JSFX, I'm gonna make something very simple. Like a game plugin, which is often used as an example in many frameworks. But not just any game plugin. If I'm going to put in the effort, let's make a one game to rule them all plugin. A super game plugin that includes all types of algorithms for adjusting the static volume of a stereo track. Now you might think, isn't that scope creep? Well, technically yes, but in reality it's not, because I already wrote a JSFX version years ago which I use daily, so my only real task is to pick a template to work with. That's easy, because 2 of the 3 options I'm aware of require C++, which I'm not going to learn just for a YouTube video, and although my Rust skills are a bit rusty, limiting the scope should make writing it pretty straightforward, right? In fact, yes, I was spot on about copy and pasting. All I had to do was to add some boilerplate and I had the plugin compiled and running within an hour. During testing, it perfectly knows with the original script, but uses only 1/3 of the CPU resources. It's a massive success. I'll put it up as soon as I finish up the configurations, and maybe clean up the code a bit. And since I'm way ahead of the schedule, I might as well add a simple graphical user interface. After all, I'll need one for the MIDI generator anyway. I've skimmed through some examples and they don't look that hard. I can probably get it done and release the video around mid-July. Wait, what? July? That was 4 months ago. What happened during the time skip? All I remember doing is iterating on the design. I had to create custom widgets because I wanted to improve the sound quality by adding perceptual analog saturation through the graphics, but I don't want to bloat up the file size, so I tried to use SVGs for the assets, but SVG filters don't render properly, so I had to switch to Blender and started reworking everything again in 3D. But since I'm not a 3D artist, it took me days just to learn the basics. And when I was about to code up the interface, I found out that the compiled file size septupled just by loading the graphics library. Like, nobody wants to download a 10 MB plugin just to this game. And what's with this? Whoa! Alright, I get it. Scope creep. Gosh, getting stuck in it really drains your time and energy, and I don't even have enough to enjoy life. I don't know what to do about it. Maybe I'll just abandon this project. But being me, I can't just leave it like this. I'm gonna try one more time, one more redesign. This time, I'll strip everything down to the core mechanics. So this is RC Every Gain. It's an elaborated volume plugin for gain staging, combining 3 different ways to adjust gain. There's the shift section where you can adjust gain by bits, with adjustable percentage and ratio. Then there's the fader section where you control the total volume percentage with an adjustable slider curve and smoothing window. You can also adjust the volume directly for individual or combined stereo channels with 2 types of precision labeled as gain and trim. The plugin is written in C++ using the iPlug2 framework and compiled to VST3, CLAP, and some other formats, with Mac versions coming later. You can download it for free along with a proper manual, links in the description. Now, if you watched this far, I do have a question for you. Are there any other ways to adjust gain that you know of? Please leave a comment down below and I'll consider adding it. And if you don't leave a comment, then I guess it's perfect. In the meantime, now that I've made a GUI framework, there are many ideas I'd like to revisit and rewrite as audio plugin. Be right back.